Hey everyone, what's going on? Welcome to the channel and thank you so much for taking your own time to check out this movie review right here for a movie called She Said, which I haven't heard a lot of people talk around, so let's change that. It's directed by Maria Schrader, who I haven't seen any of her previous work, so this is my first introduction to her, but it stars people such as Carey Mulligan, Zoe Kazan and Patricia Clarkson, and it's focused all around New York journalists publish a report that exposes the sexual abuse allegations of Harvey Weinstein. And this is based on the 2019 book, I believe, of the same name. So going into this movie, I saw the trailer and I was very intrigued because I absolutely love the 2015 movie Spotlight, which is an absolute gem of a movie and I believe should be in pretty much everyone's collection. That was a fantastic movie, but I'm not here to compare She Said with that. Two complete different stories here, two complete different times these movies were made, different directors, actors, etc. So what did I ultimately think of this movie? Well, after watching this movie, I thought this is going in my top 10 for the year. I very much enjoyed this movie. Now, it could be because I personally don't know pretty much like maybe 5% about this whole Harvey Weinstein story. I've heard the name. I think everyone's probably heard the name at this point, but I didn't know anything about the case or about Miramax or anything like that. So this was all fresh to me personally. And I was like, wow, okay, like this happened? Damn, I was very intrigued throughout, and I felt like Maria Schrader did a good job of capturing the attention of someone like myself who knows nothing about this subject whatsoever, or maybe someone who does know about it, and kind of bring them back into this story about this awful experiences that happened in Hollywood. Firstly, I've also got to say that Carey Mulligan and Zoe Kazan, as their chemistry with Megan and Jodi was great. I love them both together on screen. They really bring some scenes together and really just form this bond and this great story. And they also bond over not just stories but also kind of some personal wise stuff, as both of them are mothers to respective families who both have kids, so they share some similarities going into the story, and they're also passionate about what they do, and that is very evident through this movie. There's definitely a strong message of women empowerment here, and I really love that. I was on board for that, and I've just got to give praise for that and delivering that message without kind of shoving it down your throat. I think it was done in a very respectful way, and in such a way when it kind of really let us know the perspective of the victims of these heinous acts and really get behind them and their stories and learn about those stories. I felt like I was very engrossed in this movie. I was on board from literally the first second of this movie right up until the end. And I also will say that it does have a satisfying ending, because there was one point where it's kind of teasing an ending of like a zoom in shot, and I was like, no, don't end here because that would just ruin the movie. And it doesn't. It definitely builds up like a suspenseful ending, and I felt like it was very satisfying once the ending conclusion hit here. Also, the cinematography is great. Some very long wide shots, some long like one take shots as well, which I really appreciated. And I felt like this movie didn't have like scenic shots in them. It wasn't like a scenic shot to be like, oh yeah, let's get like a best picture Oscar nomination or anything like that. I think it was just more about the fact of just telling the story, and it did exactly that. In terms of any negatives here, to be honest, I've got very minor few of it. I do have like one or two. One thing I will say is I wasn't a huge fan of the opening of this movie, because it certainly kind of teases in a way of like a journey of one of the women that we will follow later on in the movie, but it doesn't really connect to that until like later on in the movie, and I kind of wish it started a little bit differently. But that was maybe about it. And the only other negative I have is there's maybe a couple of frames here I felt could have maybe been trimmed, maybe about 5-10 minutes in total. But besides that, I think She Said was honestly a fantastic movie. And I think it's such a shame that this movie isn't getting a lot more exposure, a lot more eyes seen to it. And I think it hasn't really had a great opening at the box office right now. So yeah, if you guys get a chance to cinema and you like movies, say for example such as Spotlight and stuff, I would definitely recommend this movie. So my overall score for She Said is a 3.5 out of 5. Now, I'd normally give this maybe a 3.75 out of 5 kind of thing, but you can't really give those rankings to Letterboxd, so it's between 3.5 and a 4. That's my overall rating. So have you seen She Said? Are you going to go check it out? Leave any and all comments down below so we can continue the discussion down there. If you've enjoyed the video, please give it a big thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you already haven't. And also, are you aware that I have a Patreon? Yeah, for only £2 per month. The link is down below in the description box. You get access to early videos, my release schedules, exclusive Q&As. You get to see what comes on the channel and so much more extra stuff coming there very, very shortly. And I also want to give a big special thank you to all my awesome Patreons who help support the channel. But thank you for watching this video, and until the next time that I see you, I'll be seeing you later.